Oh, you're muted, dear.
Let me know when you are ready.
I am ready whenever you like.
Oh,
Yep, I just needed some water. Sorry.
okay. All right. Hi, Jessica.
Hi.
Good. How are you?
Hanging in there. How are you?
I am good. I am good. The last hour's but a little crazy. I tend to like calm before I come on. I like to
Yep.
go in the green room. So some conversations will have to be had because we can't be having me come on here razzle frazzled. I rather razzle dazzle than razzle frazzle. So
I like that.
I am ready whenever you are.
All right. All right. Hello and welcome to Inspire and Aspire Workshop. This is our, oh, we've got another person coming in. I'll do that again.
Okay.
Hey, Jen.
Hello.
Jennifer. All
How are
right.
you doing?
She's muted.
You're muted.
I'm doing better, but I'm still in quite a bit of pain. And today I've been doing some stuff that I've probably been sitting up for too long, but I'm gonna go ahead and power through for this. Uh,
Nice.
but I saw, well, I expected to see the doctor, but I ended up seeing a physician's assistant yesterday, and she checked out my how I was doing and my surgical scar and stuff like that. And now I'm gonna move on to doing physical therapy. So
Good.
I'm happy about that. And I can, you know, do what I can do. Like I can start doing things like bending over, which I haven't been able to do for a while. But I like physically, I still can't quite do it, but
Mm-hmm.
I'll try, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's progress.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, welcome. Thank you for being here. All right. Hello and welcome to our Inspire and Aspire workshop with Tamira Hamilton. Today, she is going to be talking about storytelling. I'm sure about the importance of it within our businesses and just life. I mean, storytelling is super important. So, Tamira is an incredible human and an awesome businesswoman, and she will be dropping bombs because that's what she does. So I am just going to hand it over to her and let her take the floor.
Well, thank you, Stephanie. It's always a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me. And if you need me for more, I got a whole vault of content. Just reach out anytime and I will gladly show up. I do like to record these, but don't worry. I pin myself so that as I
Hmm.
repurpose this, you don't have to worry about did you sign a disclosure or anything, but you'll be able to watch the replay with Stephanie's view
Yeah.
inside the community. So, hello and welcome to everyone. My name is Tamira Hamilton. I'm a digital marketing strategist and creator of Pin Profits Mastery. I help entrepreneurs stop chasing engagement and start building systems that bring buyers consistently. What I like to say is, I am always onboarding new clients who are looking to simplify their strategy, monetize their message, and create consistent income without the a burnout. Okay. So by the end of this talk today, and I'm very fine with it being a dialogue, I did not create you facing, audience facing slides because I'm just really moving away from that. I really like to have more of, I don't know that town hall is the term I want to use, but just more of a dialogue,
Like a
an
round table.
experience. Yeah. Okay. So what I want to talk
Mhm.
about is why story selling matters because I have over 3 decades of sales, marketing, and leadership experience, and I've worked with major brands. I mean, the top brands that you can think of. If you think outside of like car industry, if you think of many of the major brands in consumer product goods, I've worked with. Same with travel, right? So brands that you either have in your household or have had or someone you knows have in their household or that they have experienced. And I've worked with hundreds of small businesses over the last 10 years with their digital marketing. There are some consistent things that I see. And it's times like this, what we're going through right now, periods of contraction, periods where things are tighter. We're seeing inflation that we haven't seen before. It's, to me, one of the top tier skills you need to have. I'm going to give you three, okay? The top three skills you need to have right now and be honing and developing daily: marketing, sales, and a subset of that is storytelling. Okay. I actually like to call it story selling. Okay. Because I have over 20 years of corporate experience where, like I said, not only did I work with major brands, I developed top tier salespeople, people who were absolute beasts and top of their game, who earned corporate trips and awards and recognition. And I don't mean they came to me that way. I mean, I literally developed them into that, right? And we have this saying that telling is not selling. And what I see out on content and in the marketplace right now is a lot of telling, a lot of telling what features are, a lot of telling why you, not even why, a lot of buy my product, hire me, hire me, hire me, and not the story behind the product, not the story behind why you, not the story behind the brand, not the story behind so many different things. It's just telling, telling, telling. And if you really want to sell, one of the most magical, powerful ways to sell is going to be through storytelling. If you can master storytelling, you will never be broke again another day in your life. You will never have to beg, borrow, and plead for someone to work with you because your story is your message, and that message is what is going to compel them to buy from you. And by the way, when you do that, you are much less likely to get returns, refunds, and chargebacks. We live in an age where it is no longer just about building trust. It is about building connection. And here's another saying for you. People will connect with you, the people will admire you for your strengths, and they will connect with you through your weakness, that vulnerability piece, that storytelling, right? So, someone like myself in my personal life and even on life, in online life, people tend to see me as this bigger than I am. I'm just not that. I mean, I'm just gonna be real with you, right? Like, I am good at my craft. I'm very, very good at it, but you cut me open, I bleed too, right? If I just had a meltdown in the car because I was with a friend and his dog licked the lid of my cup. I don't do dogs like that, right? So I'm very human. I'm very human. Like, it ruined
Hmm.
my lunch. And then, by the way, they gave me a Diet Coke instead of a Dr. Pepper. So I'm really, really like gathering everything I can to be at my top game for you because I am a spoiled princess and I want what I want when I want it.
Hmm.
See how you all are laughing now and you can connect with me because either you know someone like that or that is you. That is the power of being able to make that connection online. And I see a lot of people and I hear a lot of people complain about not getting conversions from their social content. And that is why, because it's all telling. Okay. I can really talk to y'all, right? Like, I could talk to you like I would talk to my best friends today, right? I just need your permission to do that, to like just talk to you like I would talk to my sister or my best friend. Okay. Now, I'm a very open person. I live a very diverse life. What I'm going to say might shock you a little bit, and I hope it doesn't offend you. Just know it's coming with love. I am Gen X. I am proudly Gen X. We raised ourselves. We are still feral to this day. Unfortunately, many of the people in my network and circle are still marketing like boomers. Boomer marketing. with all of the gobbledygook, talking loud, saying nothing, word vomit, and tell, very commanding. And I'm going to share a bit of information with you about me. I love taking quizzes and talent tests and things like that. And one of my favorite books, I'm a personal development junkie, is first discover your strengths, and then now discover your first break all the rules, now discover your strengths. It's a two-part book series from the 90s, right? And now there's another version, Strengths Finder 2.0. I take it every so many years, and I'm not big on, oh, my Enneagram is this, and sharing all of that online. I'm just not big on that. But one of the things I will tell you is consistently my themes stay the same, except one or two will switch around. And one that never changes, and you can probably shake your head when I tell you this, I score very high in command. When
Yep.
Tamira Hamilton talks, people listen. It's
Yep.
the voice from my matrilineal line. I just got that heavy, raspy voice. People tend to listen when I speak. However, I don't carry that into my marketing in the way that you would presume I would. I know not only in my marketing, but in my real life, that command works both for me and against me, because you combine that with some other demographic things about me, guess, and it intimidates the shit out of some people.
Mhm.
And like it or not, society has placed the burden of their being intimidated on me instead of them having to do the introspection and figure out why it is that they are intimidated by me and my voice. And so, with that being said, I have had to learn, and it's carried over into my marketing, how to still rest and live within my talent, but at the same time, make people able to connect with me. And one of those ways is through storytelling and also through vulnerability. I just shared a lot of vulnerable stuff with you, right? So, storytelling
Mhm.
does not have to mean you are trauma dumping, however. Okay. So, story selling matters now more than ever because content is everywhere, and because of AI, everybody is looking and sounding the same. And I wouldn't even blame it solely on AI, I would blame it on trend chasing. Everybody wants to chase the trends, so everybody is looking and sounding the same. The algorithms are shifting constantly, and that is why if you follow me and my marketing and sales leadership style, you will hear me say repeatedly, you are the brand, you are the content, you are the algorithm. And one of the ways that I am able to command the algorithm to bend to my will is by storytelling, not being heavily promotional, right? Your buyers are more cautious and skeptical. Like I said, it is no longer simply about building trust. People want trust and connection. They want to connect with you through your values, right? I certainly won't get political here. Everybody is obviously welcome here. But if you follow my social media, you definitely will know where I stand politically. And either that is for you or you like me enough that you ignore it. Right? And every time I
Yep.
get close to 5,000 friends on Facebook, I make a very highly emotional charged post to shift the weeds.
Mhm.
And they don't actually shake out much. And that's a testament to the value that I bring, both in terms of education as well as entertainment. And at the end of the day, I like to think that I'm just an all around really good person.
Mhm.
Okay. And so when you bring value in that way, that is how you beat the algorithm. So what is your audience saying? Your audience is saying, I'm tired of shouting into the void. You ever feel like that? Even I do some days, right? You ever feel like you're just shouting into the void? You want buyers, not likes. You don't want to dance for the algorithm or sing, dance a jig, right? I need clients I can count on every month. I don't want to trauma dump. And I advise you not to do that. I always follow Brene Brown very closely when she says you tell your story with those who've earned the right to hear your story. I also believe you tell the story when the wound is healing and healing over, not when it's freshly cut. and bleeding. Now, there are people who can do that and get away with it. Most people cannot, however, right? This is my favorite. I'm scared AI will replace me. I'm here to tell you AI is not going to replace you. I cuss ChatGPT out several times a day because they just can't keep up. You know, and I love Astrid. Me and Astrid have some really great conversations, but yeah, I have to tell her, like, I need you to stop trying to wax poetic. You're not Edgar Allan Poe here. You just don't have it like that. Please stop. Right? So, storytelling is going to fix this because it cuts through the sameness because your story is unique. Your story is what makes you you. Everything that you are afraid to put on social media is what is going to make the difference for you. I can honestly tell you that. Everything you're afraid of sharing that you think you're going to be judged and condemned for is what you actually should be talking about. Okay? And if your friends and family are not going to support you, then you probably want to sever ties with them on social media. I'm not saying in real life, but you probably just want to get them out of the way and really just focus on building your ideal audience, clients, and community online. Because it is that weakness, it is that vulnerability, right? Now, I'm also not a big fan of lying. I know someone who made a story up. They lied. They said they were sleeping on their mama's couch. And they weren't, because in a particular industry, everybody has this story about they were couch surfing and then overnight became a millionaire.
Mhm.
I am not a big fan of creating a victim story, right? Often clients that I work with feel like, oh, my story is not compelling enough. It doesn't have to be compelling enough. You don't have, I'm not going to say compelling enough. It doesn't have to be, oh, I was sleeping in a river, in a van down by the river. It doesn't have to be that. It can be I'm a single mom raising two kids. It can be I'm a married mom, a stay-at-home mom who's lost herself. It can be whatever your story is, but whatever you're struggling with, believe me, with the billions of people that are in the world, someone else needs to hear your story in order to keep going today. Okay? And the better you can link that story to what you do and how you do it, the more conversions you will get. It's going to create trust fast because people believe stories more than claims. And it's going to pre-qualify your buyers because the right ones will see themselves in your story. And it works everywhere: video, email, live, search, calls, and it makes your content last for months, not hours. Every so often, I pull up old content of mine, and I know my best content. I can search for it by certain words and pull it up. And I am always amazed at when I've switched working with different direct sales companies, shifted focus, my message has continually been the same.
Mhm.
And it applies no matter what is going on, no matter who is president, no matter what is happening socially, economically, politically. It still applies because it's my story,
Mhm.
because it's my lived experience. And the best part about it is nobody can copy it and tell it authentically because
Mhm.
it's my story, not theirs. Okay. So the business case for story selling is it's going to lower your lead cost because you're going to have people not only opting in, people are going to share. That is where shareability comes in. When you share your story in such a way, people are going to want to hit that share button and tag their friends and family. So it's also going to shorten your sales cycle and justify premium pricing. It allows you to raise your pricing. And it again increases client retention. So just quickly want to share what storytelling is not. It's not trauma dumping. It's not long monologues, but I will tell you, long written posts convert the highest for me. They have the worst engagement, but they convert because that person
Mhm.
reading that long post from the rooter to the tutor, as I call it, 70s heard me say that before, from the
Mhm.
beginning to the end, is going to be taking action instead of liking or commenting. And this is from the chief engagement officer Engagement is only a leading indicator. It's not a conversion indicator. Okay. Storytelling, on the other hand, is one true moment, one lesson, one offer. Okay. Often our social media posts, I have a post about this and it says, y'all expect one post to do the most. You want it to collect the leads, to build awareness, to convert, to upsell, and do all of these different things. And that's why nobody is buying. In fact, they're tuning you out and hitting the silence button for 30 days because you want it to do too many things. It's like the guy in New York in the old 80s movies who opens up his jackets. I got watches, I got socks, I got microwaves, when you should just really focus on one true moment, one lesson, one offer. It's a repeatable asset across every a platform and storm. That was a Freudian slip there, right? And it's the fastest way to move a stranger to client. The best sales pages, the best video sales letters that you will see out there tell stories. So I have a technique. It's an acronym for you to tell your stories. It's called the RISE technique. And R is for reflect, I is for inspire, S is for share, and E is for empower. Okay? So reflect is identify the challenge or milestone that matters, be authentic and real. Inspire, share the spark or turning point, highlight the emotion or desire. Share, outline the journey after the turning point. I always say we want to focus on the destination, not the vehicle. Okay. Talk through the obstacles, strategies, and wins, and then empower people on the end. Deliver the takeaway or lesson, give a clear next step. That's the one piece that a lot of people miss, and that's why they don't get the conversions. And position your product or service as the bridge. So I'm going to give you an example, right? My corporate to entrepreneur story. In 2013, I was making six figures and still broke, overworked, underpaid, exhausted, living paycheck to paycheck while the company held half my pay hostage in bonuses in stock. I gave them nights, weekends, vacations, and even time with my kids. And for what? To be replaced in a week if I dropped dead. That was the breaking point. I finally said no. No more building their dream while mine stayed on the shelf. I walked away and chose to build something of my own. And this is why I am here now, to show you your story has the same power. You do not have to wait. You can choose yourself starting today. Okay? And I write these posts all the time, and I'm going to give you Stephanie has been involved in one of my programs, so she knows I am huge on repurposing and resharing content. When you write a story that works, you're going to tell that story over and over and over again. You can switch it up. You can switch up some words and test different words and that, but you're going to keep telling that story over and over again. And as you keep doing this, what you're going to find is there are going to be 3 to 5 stories that you're going to tell consistently. And that is how you are going to build your business and create consistent income without the burnout, by just repurposing the same stories over and over again. And I can tell you what 3 of those stories are for me. It's in a different note though. Let me find it here. One is the story of why you built your business or you created your product. So your origin story, why you started, how you started, and why you do what you do. You're going to want to tell client stories, proof that others succeed with your help. And I want to go back to your origin story, because if you're in beauty or skincare, which a lot of my clients are, you may have been your very first own best client. And your story, your testimonial is what helped you grow your business. Mm-hmm. And you want to keep telling that story over and over again, right? I can name people and how much weight they've lost with their product or their program, whatever they did, right? And then the client story. And then there's the value story, a short story that teaches a lesson or an insight. So again, from the world of skincare, the story of how brands angel dust or micro dust, they put just a trace amount of an ingredient in their and their product, right? And how your product has an actual percentage and it's been clinically tested and proven. And a future story. This is one of my favorite. This will build for you like nobody's business. And that is the paint the vision story. What is possible, right? And this is a bonus for you. This is the flip side. I call it the apocalypse. What is the risk of staying status quo, of not making the change, of not deciding today? Each of these stories is going to hit someone at various rungs of your value ladder of where they're moving through the customer journey. So it can move them from awareness to lead, or even from awareness to customer, right? You can have somebody who's just been sitting and going back and forth from awareness and lead, but then that apocalypse story can shake them out and get them to finally become a customer. Okay. So stories build connection and trust, and they convert. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to tell your story on your social blog or email, sales conversations, live events, workshops. When you're networking, slide those stories in there. Just become really good at storytelling and
Mm-hmm.
repeat often for consistency. Okay. Your stories are going to cut through the noise of 2025 and 2026, and they give you leverage AI cannot replicate. So
Mm-hmm.
I just showed you how I went from overworked in corporate to building my own business by leading with my story. If you're ready to do the same, I have a free conversion catalyst checklist that re-gives you the RISE technique and some additional things. It walks you through step by step through that RISE technique so you can craft a story that connects and converts, and you can grab it free at tamirahamilton.com/catalyst and start putting your story to work today. And I've got time for questions and answers. Entirely up to you guys.
Is there like a rhythm to when you repurpose your storytelling? Is there a rhythm to how you do it? Because, like you click on those people's websites where you know that they're just legit like reposting the same thing over and over again versus like literally changing it up. But do you have a rhythm, or is it just kind of like what comes to you as, and you like, that you're gonna just redo it and say it again and again and again, like.
I am very in tune with myself. And so a lot of it for me is based on feeling. As much as I tell people not to operate off of their feelings, a lot of it for me is I just intuitively feel and know it's time to tell this story, or I'm paying attention. I hate to say that I'm an empath because I really hate that term because it's really a trauma response, but I'm very in tune with the quote unquote collective and what people are feeling. And I do a lot of social listening so I can
Yeah,
hear.
I was gonna say you're a good listener, so you're
Yeah.
paying attention to what's happening in the world, and you're like, okay, it's time to tell the
Yeah,
story
I need
again.
to tell. This
Okay,
is
it's
what people need to hear right now. This is where I can come in and I can help take people from here and bring them back up. And how I know is they show up in my comments and say it. They show up in my inbox and say it. I needed to hear this today. Thank you. And sometimes my stories are no more than 2 sentences and 15 words.
hmm
I've gotten really masterful at that, from long form and short form. And one of the things is I often will copy and paste the exact same words, but use a different image or use
hmm
a video. Because what we don't realize, and I neglected to say this earlier, we've been trained from 8 seconds, well, really from about 20 seconds down to 8 seconds by way of commercials, right? Commercials are
hmm
nothing more than storytelling.
Yep.
Mhm.
Did I answer your question, Stephanie?
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Go ahead,
Jennifer.
Jennifer.
So I appreciate everything you're sharing with us. It's great. I have also listened to other people encourage, storytelling. And so when I sit down to try to figure out my stories to share, I my mind goes blank. I cannot come up with anything. And then if I can't come up with something I feel is worth it or whatever. And um, let alone making it interesting or, where I feel it's shareable. Do you have any tips on that? Like when your mind goes blank and you feel like you can't find a story?
Yeah, I would say scroll, but not for doom. Scroll for emotion.
Hmm.
Scroll and read and watch, and where you get triggered, you need to talk. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
So I should be scrolling and just looking at just anybody and everybody, what they're
Scroll
saying.
within your vertical. Read the comments of the influencers in the larger spaces where people hang out in what you do, and read the comments.
Okay.
I guarantee you, you read the comments, there should be something, there are going to be a plethora of comments that trigger you.
Right. Okay.
Give me an example of a comment that you know from the past that has triggered you.
I don't know right now. It's
Okay, okay.
my mind goes blank. And I'm in my field, I do and I don't read other people's stuff because I don't want to worry that I might copy something.
I understand that.
Um, but yeah, I have to think about it. I mean, I've done next to no social for some time now.
Yeah.
So I right now, in my mind, what you're talking about, what I'm going through is I'm trying to add some stuff and update some stuff on my website and start posting
Mhm,
blog posts, which then, of course, I know I can make social media posts.
mhm.
Um, so yeah, I was mostly thinking about how can I do that, and then, of course, break that stuff out.
The
So
big thing with your story is going to be the emotion. You have to make people feel something. Emotion precedes action. And so if you want people to take action, it's not always immediately a buy. Sometimes it's to click to read the blog post. Sometimes it's to like. Sometimes it's to share, right? But you have to make them feel something in order to get that action.
yeah,
And so as you tell your origin story, which is where I work with a lot of my clients, we've got to get that origin story nailed down.
yeah.
Mhm.
I think I have my origin story pretty okay on my website. What I also know, so I'm a professional organizer,
Okay.
and there's a really long lead time. People have to really get to a pain point before they decide to hire an organizer because they're embarrassed or ashamed, or they feel like they should be able to do it themselves, all the reasons. And so I can
Does
see how
your
storytelling is important because that at least keeps their attention until they finally decide that they want to hire me, and it builds the know, like, and trust factor, all those good things. But um, yeah, so it's tricky too because it's hard to
absolutely.
measure.
If I were in your position, I would be asking myself, how can I tell my story in a way that cuts that time down?
Hmm.
What do I need to say to get them so hot in the pants that they say, F it, today is the day. I'm sick of it.
That's an excellent question. It's because then I'm having to figure out, yeah, I have to figure out what people out there are afraid of, or
Mhm.
again, what's their pain point. I've talked for years and years about clients have to reach that pain point where they finally are like,
Right.
this is too much, or I'm too overwhelmed. Overwhelm's the number one word I hear, so
Hmm.
certainly playing to understanding their
And is that
overwhelm.
in your messaging? How many times do you say overwhelm in your story?
I probably don't say it very much.
Yeah, you want to hit
More.
on that. And then again, it's you got to tell the apocalypse story. What's the risk of
Yeah.
staying the same?
Yeah.
And I would say so I know a strange amount of organizers. And based on their different postings, there are certain ones that I know nothing of what they do. And then there's the ones that like share like the little just like quick little pictures of what they're doing of a project and like how and like the beginning, middle, end type things. And it's like you see what they accomplished in like a matter of hours, and you're like, holy hell, I would never do that, you know? So like I think just even the visuals of that and also
Show the
some
magic.
of them have shared like things that like the degree of how they help the person move forward, you know, that it's not just that I move your shit, you know?
Yeah, and that's really like for me, what I do with my clients. Of course, we organize stuff and get rid of things, but there's a lot of talking. There's a lot of like
Yeah.
unofficial counseling going on. And I
Yep.
have a number of clients where we really do spend an awful lot of time talking because it's arranging their mindset better.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And that's not a visual thing. Like you can't take a picture
Right. But I
that
think you
so
could tell the
easily.
But you
story.
can tell
Story.
the
Yeah,
story. You can tell
Yeah.
sure.
the story and you can tell, and make it emotive. What I would do is work with someone like me on what exactly is your client transformation. Because when Stephanie was talking, the first thing I was thinking about is it's psychographic. It's all in
Hmm.
their head. There's
Yeah.
some emotion attached to it. And I know, to tell a quick story, when I was a banker many years ago, there was a client who had $400,000 sitting in a savings account, which was basically losing money. And we
Mhm.
called her in and we tried to get her to invest it. But the reason she didn't want to invest it was she didn't want to lose a dollar of it because it was her inheritance from her father. So she did,
Hmm.
so there was this emotion behind it. And what you're doing with the talking is you're getting into the psychology, into their head. It's not just mindset. There's something psychologically going on there. And I'm not saying like, like they're serial killers or anything like that. I'm just saying there's something
Yeah.
emotional, something traumatic that is hankering them to being disorganized instead of clearing the clutter. And because
Hmm.
if they clear the clutter, what is it erasing for them, right? You know, for years, my daughter had a voicemail recording of my grandmother's voice. So she wouldn't upgrade her phone because she
Hmm.
didn't want to lose that recording with my grandmother's voice on it. So we got it put, somewhere safe that she can keep it and be able to get her phone updated, right? So
Yeah.
that's really what it is about for you to get those conversions to is how do you communicate whatever it is that is emotionally keeping them from clearing the clutter
Hmm.
and getting
And
organized.
how is it going to shift their identity and how they see themselves? And the other question that I have is you have the before, the middle, and the after, and the immediate after, but what does it look like down the road? Like a couple months
Yeah.
out, 6 months out, like the longer term folks, is it sustainable and how does it change them?
Mhm.
Yeah. Um, yeah, go ahead. I'm done.
Yeah. I have a little more kind of brass tacks kind of question when you
Yeah.
talked about the long form. Like, where are you putting this? Like, is blogging still a thing? Is it now all Substack? Is it just long posts places? Like, how do you approach that piece and kind of what works now for that?
Yeah, I'm an omnipresent marketer, meaning I have my pair and a spare. So I have my primary and my secondary, which
Okay.
primary and secondary right now are Facebook and TikTok. And then my spare, it's a dating analogy, by the way. My spare is Pinterest. So my pair cannot be owned by the same entity. So it cannot be Facebook and Instagram because if they're both down in a day, I'm SOL, right? And my spare is where I look to have a presence. That was initially it, but now it's more so about search and discoverability. And so Pinterest/YouTube really are my spare because it gives me the search engine. TikTok does too, to a degree. It gives me where I can be discovered for people who have intent and are looking for what it is that I have to offer. So, to answer your brass tacks question, long form written does very well for me natively on Facebook, meaning I am typing or copying and pasting into a post and
Mhm.
they want you to do posts with images, but I am here to tell you, um, posts without pictures or video do the best for me.
Nice, because that's my
Hmm.
I will do the long, like I'm the writer, so I'm good with the words. I hate the picture part.
Yeah. When I do combine it with a picture, it's a picture of me or a picture
Okay.
of me with my grandkids. That does very, very well for me on
Wait,
Facebook.
hold the phone. You cannot have grandchildren.
Yes.
Stop it.
11 and 5. They are the light of my life.
You're a baby.
No.
She's actually not. She just looks fabulous.
Thank you, Stephanie. I can act like one though when I don't get my way, but yeah.
She's
Yeah.
one of them youthful Gen X's, just like the rest of us.
You look younger than I do.
No, no, I've hit 50 and surpassed it. Mhm.
Oh, excuse me.
Yes, she blew my mind when she said she hit 50 and passed it. I was like, wait, what?
No.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like child. Okay, that makes sense. No.
No, my daughter is, I have a 33-year-old and a 28-year-old. Yeah.
I think that just broke my brain more than anything else in this conversation. And I
This is
have two
typically
sons.
where they say it don't crack.
Right.
You are well moisturized. I know. And now the dog is like scratching at me because she's like, you went outside the emotional approved bandwidth. I'm not kidding. Hi, yeah, we're fine. We're fine.
So
We're
And I'll
funny.
be
okay.
honest with you, if your ideal client is like Gen X or Boomer, Facebook is definitely where you want to be. Facebook still has the higher dollar conversions, right? But you want to be all the other places because we don't own any of it. And from all of them, we want to be generating leads. And stories is a great way to generate leads. So that long form post might be something that I talk about organically in a live stream that can be anywhere from 15 minutes to sometimes they're a couple hours long. And I might tell
Okay.
my story several times on one of those. I might tell a little piece of it on a reel or a TikTok or in the caption of a reel or a TikTok, but it really is, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is a habit. And so it's just constantly telling that same story over and over. Often we tell that same story one time. And, I can't tell you the first time you do that long form post, it's going to convert. Hopefully it
Hmm.
will. But you keep telling those long form posts, and you're going to
Hmm.
get some conversions. They're going to pop.
Now you're long, like word count? I'm sorry.
You're thinking word count.
I'm
So
thinking
a
word
long
count.
form post to me is anything over 250 words.
Hey, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Everybody good?
I'm still shocked, but I'm good.
Well, this was fantastic. Thank you so much for leading us today. I hope everybody enjoyed it and goes back and works on their stories.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm
Take
sure
me up
Tamira will always
on
be
that
here to
free
help you. Yes, I can highly recommend check out her things. Try that free
conversion.
offer she had. I'm definitely gonna download that. And yeah, she's fantastic. I encourage people to follow her, pay attention, and do the things with her because she will help you along. And if there's anything else I can help you guys with, just let me know.
What was the Tamira Hamilton? What's the site again? The URL again that you
Catalyst.
mentioned?
Catalyst. And Tamira is with an I. It's on the screen. Tamira.
I got that part. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Excellent. Have a beautiful day, everybody, and I will talk to you guys soon.
Thanks for having
Thanks,
me. Great
ladies.
questions.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
ladies. Bye bye.
Bye.